it's Gothic Layman here. In the spirit of my channel, one of my most favorite and popular videos that everyone really enjoyed was my 25 list of Gothic style movies. So to continue on with my list, I'm not going to go to the extent of 25 movies because that is such a big list. I'm only going to sort of leave it to about 7 movies at the moment for this one, but more newer movies that I think are very noteworthy and got a very strong Gothic essence and vibe to these movies. And I just really enjoyed them and I loved these movies. So we know with a Gothic movie or something that's got to have a Gothic vibe, it's generally got to have an ooky, spooky sort of feel to it. It's got to portray a Gothic ambience that through the themes of the movie being the music, the storyline. Generally, most Gothic storylines have dark romance, so it's a romantic style movie, but very unattainable with the romance. It just you can't happen. So this is my list of about 7 movies roughly that I feel have that vibe to the movies. The first movie I'm going to pick is Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter's movie Horns. If you have not seen this movie, Horns is about the character that Daniel's portraying grows a set of horns on his head, and everyone that is around him have to tell their dark truth secrets. They get very angry around him and they just can't help themselves, or they can't control what they say. So Daniel gets to see the other sides of what people are really thinking or feeling just from being around him. So why this movie deserves Goth points is Daniel's character in this movie portrays it's a very twisted, painful journey, but you can't help but follow him on this journey. He's very angry, he's in pain, he's out of control. He wants to understand what had happened to his girlfriend who died in this movie, and he's just so angry about this situation. So we can't help but we're following him on his twisted journey and just wanting to root for him, but at the same time loving this darker side to his character. And a really great quote that I had found for this movie is, it almost portrays a modern day Edward Scissorhands story. Without giving the plot line away to this movie, this is why I love this movie and why it has like my goth vibes to it. So the next movie I've picked is Twix 2011. Now this is a very interesting story that leaves you kind of wondering what is truth and what is reality and what is not. So you're constantly guessing with this movie. The main character goes to this very backwards country town. It's very strange and unusual, and he's following the story of what happened to these murders of these children in like a hotel. In this movie, you don't know what is dream and what is reality. And what I'm meaning by that is he'll go into like a dream world, and the whole vibe and theme of this movie is completely grey, but you'll have hints of colour. So like in the movie Sin Cities, if you've ever watched them, the colours always represent something. So in this movie, the main character meets this girl that is very gothic themed, but all in white. She just looks fabulous. I love her character. You're constantly questioning this movie, and it's got a very supernatural vibe. He's talking to ghosts or people that aren't around anymore in this dream world, and his world sort of crumbles on the outside because he's getting wrapped in this new world basically. And to be quite funny, there is some creepy kids across the lake that no one wants to go near, and they're doing evil stuff across that lake, and they're just goth kids across the lake. So I loved that. I thought that was quite funny. Movie is one of my childhood favorites is Donnie Darko 2001. This movie roughly came out, and why I love this movie is it's got a very supernatural vibe and feeling to this movie, and that comes in the form of a creepy bunny rabbit. But this doesn't just look like a fluffy bunny rabbit. This bunny rabbit has he's in a fluffy costume, but the mask is very dark and almost demon like. And Donnie is he's a very disturbed person. He's in a sort of like he's very depressed. He's almost suicidal. He just does not care about his well-being and his own safety, and it's like he has blackouts where him and the bunny rabbit will go off and do disturbing things to like in his everyday life, but it's so he's almost going into a split personality, and it's very twisted how he thinks. If you've heard of the song Mad World, that's what this song was from, this movie. And at the end, you kind of fall in love with his character and the story, and you quite get quite sad about the story and the understanding behind what the story was trying to tell you or portray. So this is why I love this movie. So my fourth movie is Stoneheart Asylum 2014. It's quite a new movie, but it's also based off Edgar Allan Poe's story. And of course, Edgar Allan Poe is a very much renowned Gothic iconic writer, and Stoneheart Asylum is of course based around asylum and this person in the asylum that is like a doctor almost. But then you find out later on that he was actually a patient as well in this asylum, and you're just following their life in the asylum to where they escape. But I just think it's a beautiful story on its own. So gets you confused. You kind of go with it thinking, oh yeah, it's going this way, and then it twists you another way. So it's a noteworthy movie. Five is Interview with a Vampire, 1994, because a goth list always has to have a vampire movie in it. And I love how in Interview with a Vampire, these vampires, they're very historic, and they're in pain. They're not just like they're portraying a more old style of vampires that you don't see. They're longing for the life they used to have, as well as just trying to keep going with what's happening in them and understanding the vampire world and what that's about. And of course, their Anne Rice books is Repoed Genetic Opera. So not everyone likes this style of movie because it is a musical style movie. So if you like musicals, you're gonna love this. If you don't like musicals, you might not enjoy this style of movie. And why I think this is a post apocalyptic future type of movie. So the world has crumbled, society has crumbled a bit, and now we're in this really strange new world that's all dark and creepy, and everyone is obsessed with changing themselves. No one is happy with the way they look, their organs. So Repo is about the repo man who basically it's like a crime world. Everything's ruled by a mafia type world where everyone buys either hearts, lungs, a new face, new eyes, new body parts. It can be anything. If your organs are failing, say you've got your lungs are broken, you've got cancer, you will pay to have these organs put into you. And if you can't keep up with the payments, the repo man will come and repossess your organs and leave you for dead. The main character I love in this movie, she's got a very Victorian Lolita style about her clothes. But this is just a very strong, dark essence all the way through the movie. You will not be disappointed with this movie. The Babba Door, 2014. So pretty much every well-renowned horror genre writer to story has commented about this movie. Even Stephen King has commented about this movie. And pretty much all those comments are about how creepy this movie is. And I pretty much agree with them. This movie won awards and it is just fantastic. And it screams very Gothic vibes. You might not think it at the beginning, but as you get more into the movie, you will understand, what's going on. The whole way into the movie, you get this feeling of dark, creepy, and just unhappy. They're unhappy with their lives. It's a mother who just cannot cope. She's lost her husband. Like, she was pregnant. It starts off with this gruesome car accident at the beginning of this movie, and then you see what the aftermaths of this accident and the toll it has taken on this family. It's a mother that just can't get past her grief from losing him. And I question if the son has autism or Asperger's in this movie just by his behavior. I could be wrong, but it just makes me question that. But at the end of the movie, they learn to be comfortable with the dark presence that was ruining their lives and terrifying them, and they learn to live with it and keep it a part of their family. And that's why I think this belongs, in the Gothic vibe, because it's seeing and living with those dark thoughts and the darkness and accepting it, because Gothic is all about the beauty in the darkness and the things that people don't always accept as beautiful or want to understand. And that's why I love this movie. So I hope this was very informative to you guys. I hope you loved my movie list. Maybe you have more movies to add here. I would love to hear them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.